Oh, here we go. We are on the air. How's it going, everybody? Welcome to Traveling with Bruce, your jovial host here from Creston, BC. How you guys doing today? It's a hot one here. I don't know about you guys. It's kind of warm up here in Canada. Creston today is in the 90s again, as expected, as called for. Gorgeous, sunny, but hot. So if you're camping down by the lake, it's all good. If you're in the living room putting a YouTube video together, it's comfortable if you got the air conditioning on. And if you're on the air in front of your peeps, it's all good because, it's all good all the time. How you guys doing? Welcome to the show. What is today? July the 18th, 2018, Wednesday, the middle of the week. Welcome to the broadcast. We're here to talk about cruise ships, cruise ship vacations, holiday ideas, you name it. You know we love talking about cruising here. I've been one busy cowboy today. Lots going on. I thought today I was going to talk a little bit about the celebrity news that was released, talking about a new terminal being built for the cruise line. But oh no, Norwegian stole the show. Caught a story this morning, and oh my goodness, it's kind of taken over my day here. And well, I'll be talking about it with you guys for sure today. I did a video on it already. It was that important. I put a video out this morning that if you get a chance, check it out. It's about 3 minutes long, and it deserved its own special video just to kind of fill in everybody what's happening. Anyway, welcome to my channel. We're going to be 12 months old in about 3 weeks. Just incredible. 2,375 subscribers now. We're zooming in on 2,500. Fantastic there. Folks have been saying hi to me and giving me thumbs ups on my videos, participating in yesterday's Soup Nazi trivia show. I hope you had fun with that. I enjoyed that very much. We had a bit of fun yesterday. I want to say hi to Cruising with Wheels. I want to say hi to the guys out there. They sent me a message this morning. They caught the replay of our show yesterday that we did at 5 o'clock Eastern time, where we were talking about characters that you could run into on a cruise ship. In particular, have you ever run into a character kind of the personality of a soup Nazi on a cruise? They did. In the haven of all places, on the NCL Bliss. I couldn't believe the story. We covered that yesterday. They gave me a shout out this morning telling me they saw that and they very much appreciated the shout out, and they will keep us posted on that story as it goes forward. Thank you also for those of you who are picking up items from Traveling with Bruce from my Redbubble store. This is one of the shirts or one of the logos we've designed. A couple of mugs are over here and over here. A couple of new logos are under construction right now as we speak. That'll probably bring our total to over 30 different logo designs for this channel. I had never thought it would get that far that fast. I love it, and I'm really looking forward to getting them released and letting in on those designs. So if you like something you see there, pick it up, helping me with the channel. Thank you for all of you who are sending me donations through PayPal. Thank you very much. I know that this channel is eligible for Super Chat funding. Anyone during my live stream can send me a donation if they want through Super Chat. However, if you do that, 70% only comes to me, 30% does not. Whereas if you send me a donation on my PayPal, which is just up here on my homepage, 94% of that comes my way rather than 70%, and it's instantaneous. And I thank all of you who've been helping out the channel that way. Very much appreciate it. Jen, the invisible wife of mine, the Jennifer Aniston lookalike wife of mine, she thanks you too. And we keep her going. Let's talk about the story of the day. This is unbelievable. I came across the story this morning, looking up some information for the show today. And first I read this, I read two announcements. I read one from a press report. Then I read, and it looked to me like the press report was really more of a copy of a corporate press release, more than an investigative story. Then I went to Twitter and tried to find out any more about this story. And then I started putting two and two together, and now I figured out what's happening. The folks at Norwegian announced that they are moving the Norwegian Joy cruise ship, which is the twin ship to the Bliss. The Norwegian Bliss and the Norwegian Escape and the soon-to-be next year or so, year and a half from now, the Encore. These are three ships all in the same class of size and design. The Norwegian Joy was launched in 2017. The announcement made by Norwegian today was that they were pulling that ship out of the Chinese market, out of China, which it was specifically built for. Which this is a shocker to those of us who follow cruising closely, in that Norwegian spent almost $1 billion. 980 million was the official number, so let's call it $1 billion. $1 billion to build this beautiful vessel, the largest ship to service the Asian market, and it was the centerpiece of Norwegian's push into China, into Asia. All of the ship's signage, on board signage, any little, like for example, when you're in your bathroom and you have the plug in there, it tells you don't stick a metal object in there, it could be dangerous. All those little warning signs in every nook and cranny of the ship, it's all in Chinese. It's designed for the Asian market. This ship was built specifically for China. The hallway instructions, fire instructions in the back of the door of your cabin. There's English and Chinese. I mean, it's all specifically set up. All the announcements. The crew was hand selected for the China market. The chefs, the kitchens, the entertainment, the decor, the feel, the vibe. The entire ship was custom built for the China market, and it arrived in China last year, 2017. The ship has only been out there for barely a year, and they are going to have that ship located in Seattle, Washington, next April for Alaska Cruises. But before the ship gets to Seattle, even before that date, the ship is going into dry dock for a $50 million improvement. And this isn't to make the ship prettier. It's gorgeous. It's a brand new ship. It's to North Americanize it. They're going to take everything out of that ship that has anything to do with for the Asia market. That means a lot of ripping out and then cosmetically putting back in signage and you name it, other decor, to North Americanize this ship. This is a huge expense. This is a inconvenience. But the press release from Norwegian doesn't talk about that. They talk about how wonderful it's going to be for the Bliss to be together with the Joy out of Seattle next summer to do the Alaska cruising season. The ship is then destined to, next fall, it's supposed to then do a Mexican Riviera cruises and Panama Canal cruises through the winter of 2019 and 20. And then we find out going forward what happens next. I think this decision was made very recently, very quickly, and I think this is as fast as they can do it without causing too much problems. I don't think they're getting kicked out of China. I don't think that's what's happening. But I have a feeling that they are, they've corporately decided that their best place for this ship is not the China market whatsoever. And it's shocking that if you read on these announcements that have been coming out this morning, the next ship that will be in China for Norwegian that's going to replace this one, it's not even replacing this one because this one was a full-time deployment. This is 365 in China. The ship that's going there next is their oldest vessel, the Spirit. It's going in for a dry dock shortly. It's a 20-year-old vessel next year, so when it gets there, and it'll only be in China seasonally, and it can handle 2,100 passengers. So we're talking about a cruise ship going from like 4,700 capacity, 4,800 capacity, if you really stuffed it up, to 2,100 and only seasonal China voyages. Something is going on in the China area overall that is causing cruise lines to pull their ships out and get out. And Norwegian is taking $1 billion asset, and they're going to replace it with a ship that is worth maybe, in today's dollars, $200 million, $150 million part-time. That is a statement. Now, is Norwegian doing it because they're angry? Are they not filling their ship up? I haven't heard that story that they can't fill the ship. Are they having booking issues? Are they having problems with the travel agencies? Because in China, cruise lines cannot operate their own websites to sell their own cruises. They have to go through Chinese-based licensed travel agencies, and something tells me in my back of my brain, when you have a government that is unreplaceable in a way, and senior officials who have total authority to run their fiefdoms the way they want. There's a word that comes into play sometimes that starts with a B and ends in bribe. Or is that the whole word? Oh, no. And maybe the issue here is that Norwegian, without being able to say a word, they can't say it. I can say it because I'm not employed by anybody. They can't tell you what's really going on, and there could be an issue. Now, it could be completely another issue. The issue could be something to do with the recent U.S.-China engagement and overall atmosphere when it comes to doing business together, as in trade between the countries. It could well be that Norwegian is reading some tea leaves, looking at the future, and the future don't look good. This is a U.S. listed public company, Norwegian Cruise Lines. They're publicly traded on the New York Stock Exchange, the shareholders of which are American pension funds and investment funds and other investors around the world. And this company is looking at the atmosphere in this region, and they are figuring out right now, they don't like what they see, they don't like what they hear, they don't like what they feel, they don't like what they're absorbing, and they're getting out of Dodge. And the fastest and most polite way to leave this region is to do it over a 9-month window from now till next April, but basically get out in March because they're going to go to dry dock, and then be in Seattle in April. And they can do it that way without literally overnight pulling that ship out of there. I'm guessing, I want your comments on this. I want your thoughts on this. What do you think is going on? Why would a cruise line build a $1 billion cruise ship, hype the bejesus out of this thing for a specific market, which I grant you is the world's largest potential cruise market, bigger than the United States cruise market in terms of people, and within a year get out, decide we're getting out of here, we're leaving. This spirit that we're putting over there on this this ship that we're going to put up there for a few months of the year, that's a token entry into the market. That is a nothing. That's a nothing. This $1 billion vessel is the creme de la creme of cruise ships. Everyone is telling me how much they love the Bliss, how beautiful the Bliss is, the amenities, the features. Fantastic vessel. Who is not happy coming off the Bliss? Not very many people, other than our friends at Cruising with Wheels, who had the most unbelievable and bizarro event happen to them up in the Haven Suites with that soup Nazi up there. I don't know what's going on with that guy. But the ship itself, who's complaining about the Bliss? Nobody. And if you never run into that particular person, you love the ship no matter what. So why would a cruise line pull out? This is what I'm asking, and I want you folks to talk to me about it. I am dying to know what your thoughts are. It could be an interesting couple of days, weeks as we go forward. We'll probably hear even more news about this. I don't know if this will have anything to do with the Encore's future or not. If Norwegian got a whiff of a slowdown coming in the cruise market, or that they were over capacitated, they had too much capacity, would they pull the Encore? Would they hold it back? But at this point, nothing there. I can't see them doing that. That's the fourth version of this ship. To me, they should go right ahead and build the Encore, keep booking it. I'm sure it's booking up nicely, and designate it to the Caribbean or wherever they want to designate it to, and it'll probably replace an older ship anyway over the next 5 years, and so they're only adding maybe 2,500 capacity to their line, something I'm sure they can handle. But right now, for you out there as cruisers, there could be deals coming. Now, this is the good news for you guys. There are winners and a loser. There's winners, cruisers, and one loser, and that's Norwegian. Norwegian is going to lose millions on this shift. This is going to cost them a lot of money. However, Norwegian will spin it around and say, oh, this is great news. We're going to bring one of the most preeminent ships we have, one of the best in our fleet, to the hottest market in the world, which is Alaska, the United States, Caribbean. They're going to put the spin on it. That's going to be, it's going to be peaches and cream. It's going to be great. But that ship is not fully booked for the next 3 years. That ship is booked until next year, February, March. And all bookings after that have been canceled because they're not taking passengers in China anymore to somewhere else in Asia. They're out of there. So all those bookings are lost. Now they have to fill this ship up starting next April with the Alaska cruise market. Now, they're going to take a ship out of the Alaska cruise market to put this ship in. So the spin will be from Norwegian, hey, we're taking a ship out. We're putting the ship in. It's no big deal. Yes, but you're adding 2,200, 2,500 berths per week to your cruise line. Now, maybe you had this designed all along that eventually you'd have more ships coming in there. I don't know if that's the case. Other cruise lines are into Alaska big time, as we know. And Skagway, how many ships can Skagway handle in a day? How many ships can Anchorage handle? How many vessels will the governments of Canada and the U.S. allow in the inside passage per day, per week? There comes a point in time where you're overdoing it. And then, of course, the next question is after the summer season is over, which is the easy season to sell. It's easy to sell summer in Alaska. The trick, it comes, what do you do with the fall? The ship is destined to be in California. We don't know if it's home porting LA for sure, if it's home porting San Diego. It's a home. I'm not sure of this yet. I'm sure we'll find this out shortly, very shortly. And then the Mexican Riviera. While you're up against, if you're Norwegian, you're now up against Carnival. With the Panorama coming, remember? The Panorama is coming to Long Beach, 4,000 passengers. Then we've got the ship that's going to be in San Diego, another Carnival ship. That's new. Then we're going to have, we have Princess already in LA every week doing cruises, if not a couple. So the competition is heating up for the Mexican market. The Panama market is not a hot market as far as hot competition. There's room for a ship like the Joy to ply the waters of the Panama Canal on a regular basis. If every second week or so, it's a 14-day cruise, 16-day cruise between LA, Miami, Miami, LA, you can do that for 4 or 5 or 6 in a row. You can kill the winter with that. Easily you can get through the winter with that. And then next spring, well, maybe the ship will be repositioned to Europe. Maybe it'll go back to Alaska for 2020. We don't know. Mediterranean, perhaps we'll find out. Okay, so as a cruiser, there might be deals for you. There might be some offers on a really nice cruise ship, the Joy, for Alaska and for Mexico and perhaps Panama Canal cruising. So there might be some dream cruises being put together here. We'll have to see what's going on. I'm going to say hi to my peeps that I've ignored so far and get right up to all of your comments. What are your thoughts on this whole thing? Tell me what you're thinking. Tell me what's going on here. To me, this is big news. Richard C. said hi to me first, telling me it was 90 in the Philly area. A little early, he's thinking. Well, yeah, right behind you, Peter Heckema said hi. And I say his little sun, mostly cloudy today in Tarpon Springs, Florida, with a few afternoon showers. Very humid, 92 degrees. He enjoyed trivia last night. It was a fun show. It was a good time. Robert Brandt saying hi. Hey, Peter. Hey, Bruce, and everyone. 88 in St. Thomas. He's in St. Thomas, U.S. Virgin Islands. The Disney Fantasy is in port today with 2,500 passengers on board, spending money in St. Thomas. Wonderful. And Jordan's here from Australia. Good morning, Bruce. It's 24 Celsius in Brisbane, cold and wintry, espresso in hand. The poor thing, she's freezing through another brutal winter at about 74 degrees Fahrenheit. She's freezing over in Brisbane. I love it. I just love it. Let's see here. Everyone's saying hi to everybody here. Let's go through here. Richard C. says, I have over 2,700 photos from my Mediterranean trip. It is fatiguing to go through them all. And he's referring to the fact that I have a Facebook group page called Traveling with Bruce. If you want to follow this channel after I'm off the air, come on to the Facebook page and say hi to us there. Folks are posting photos of their favorite cruises, ships, holidays, you name it, and it's just fantastic. I welcome one and all to come on by that page and join it if you like. Let's see what we have here. And Jordan, I agree, Richard, so many photos to put up. The first photos I put up on Traveling with Bruce were of the Mediterranean. We also stopped in Vienna on the way home. More photos there. Peter Heckema's here. Richard C. Can you imagine if you had to get all those pictures developed like in the days way back when we had negatives? Oh, man, can you imagine 2,700 photos? You'd go bankrupt. That's unthinkable. Today's adults, I mean, anyone who's 25 and younger, you've never paid to have pictures developed. I can't imagine you would have had to do it. The thought of you having 1,000 photos from your holiday, you'd have to pay $800 to get them developed. I mean, that's insane. No, can't be done. Those days are gone. Digital, thank God for that. Paul Wilkins is here. Hi, Bruce and all. 80 and sunny with very little humidity in Virginia. Tracy Dunlop is here. Hi, Bruce and all. 92 Fahrenheit, 62 humidity. Feels like 105 in Naples, Florida right now. I got up at 6:30 this morning. It was 87 degrees. Opened the door and thought I was walking into an oven. Oh, my gosh. It is that time of year. Wes Morrison is here. 102 in New Braunfels, Texas. Great to stay indoors and watch you. Wes, welcome back to the show. You are doing it the right way, my friend. Stay indoors. Stay cool. Silo Steve, buddy, how are you? Hey, y'all. 74 and 60 for the high and low in Seattle today. Much cooler than yesterday. 101 days till he is on the Haven on the Bliss. 550 days until he's on the Encore and the Haven in January 2020. He's talking about too the TBD days to the Joy 2019. He can't wait. He wants to go cruising, and why not? Richard C. Happy birthday. I watched Cruising with Wheels. Not a fan on the language they used. Surprised YouTube didn't bounce it. Yeah, I'm. They got a little Randy there. Well, you got to go with them. They're okay. Nancy is here. Hi, Bruce. Hi, Nancy. And Jordan saying hi to everybody. Tracy, any news on the house in Naples? That's right. Robert is looking for a house in the Naples area, and they're commiserating on that. Silo is saying Joy is now on the NCL site. Can't book online yet. Not sure what calling would do yet. Silo, I don't think you want to bother right now. I think you want to wait a couple of days. Let them get their itineraries figured out. Let them get all the logistics figured out, and then they'll start posting cruises. But by the end of the week and by next week, it'll be ready to roll. But this is a big shift for these guys. They got work to do in that office. Oh, my gosh. Richard C. China requires a middleman to book a cruise in China, and they set the price. If you look at Majestic Princess, that too is being phased away from China. How about that free trade? Yeah. Silo, I was talking to a bartender on the Bliss. I mentioned how I wanted to go to China to sail the Joy. He said it was hardly ever full. Isn't that interesting? Again, I love it, Silo. Any kind of insight you can get like that, I love this. Any of you folks, this is fantastic stuff. Seakeeper, hi, Bruce and all. 89 degrees Fahrenheit, pouring buckets, thunder and lightning, working from inside. Thumbs up. Booked a cruise today. I'm sailing on the NCL getaway from Miami, August 26th, Western Caribbean. Seakeeper, that is going to be a great cruise. Silo is wondering if he's kind of hoping it'll still retain the China feel. Will the Joy retain that? The decor was really cool. I don't know, Silo, what the plans are there. I can't say. D&G Explorers, good afternoon, Bruce. Hi, you guys. How you doing? Looking forward to working with you guys. Cool Jazz. Hello, Bruce. Nice, cool day in the Apple today. What a waste of money to refurbish a new ship. Stockholders need an explanation, and they're not getting it today. They're not getting that story that I'm giving you regarding what's happening here. They're getting the peaches and cream. Everything is great story. We're bringing it to the United States, and we're going to have a bunch of Americans go on this cruise to Alaska with all people of the world, and we're going to smile and sing, and we're going to go to the shore and sing Kumbaya around the campfire because it's going to be fantastic. Yes, $50 million out the door for refurbishing a ship that is a year and a half old. That is not Kumbaya stories. We got an issue here, and we're not getting the story as to why. Nancy Nolan, thanks for reassurance, Bruce. I was worried that the Bliss may now be switched because there would be both ships during the Mexican Riviera itinerary in the fall. Nancy, I think you're safe. You're not the Bliss isn't going anywhere. It's set. The Bliss is set. Its crews are set. The entertainment is set. The staff is set. All the holidays and contracts are set for the Bliss. I think they're going to be okay. Something else we haven't talked about with regard to the Norwegian Joy, the staff on board the ship. I will bet you that a very high percentage of that staff on the Norwegian Joy speak Chinese, speak Mandarin, and I don't know what percentage of them speak fluent English. And this could be another logistical issue that Norwegian's going to have to deal with regarding the staffing of the ship that interact with the public. They may have a number of folks to reassign on contract between now and next April in Seattle. So, this is stuff I don't think about this on a daily basis, but I know NCL is thinking about it right now. They're dealing with it, and it's a biggie. Let's see. Debbie Manuel is here. Hi, Bruce and everyone. Hot again in Chico. 106. Yippee in Northern California. Debbie, hang in there. Stay cool, please. Let's see. Tracy, let's see here. Sorry, Seakeeper. Has NCL Joy been built according to an Asian scale? I mean, to recall that the NCL Spirit was built like that, and non-Asian were finding everything too small on the ship. Seakeeper, you make a great point, because I don't know what the bathrooms are like in the cabins on this ship. Were those cabins designed for people who are an average height of 5'8", 5'7", 5'6"? I'm one biscuit short of some heftiness. I'm a healthy biscuit and gravy eating kind of guy, and I'm small when it comes to the biscuit crowd. I've got friends of mine, some of them are friends of this channel, who are a biscuit short of some serious numbers on a weigh scale. I don't know how we'd fit into a multi-headed shower on a cruise like that. So yes, I agree. You've got a good point, and that's something I can't answer right off the get-go here. Jim Thomas is saying, Debbie, take your 106-degree temperature 1 hour north. It's 111 where I am. Oh my gosh. Anderson is even hotter than she is. Unbelievable. Anderson, California. Michelle Lucas, 101 degrees in Gridley, California. 1 week to the big ass RV trip to South Dakota, cruising on the Harley. Fantastic, Michelle. And hope you're going to have a great time there. D&G Explorers, it's going to be a bit cooler today in Madeira, California, only 103. Hang in there, guys. Silo, if you have seen some of the YouTube vids of the Chinese tourists, they can get beyond crazy. Maybe the ship got trashed like Disney China. Well, I don't know. This is also going to be interesting stuff. Maurice is here. Hello, Bruce. The Ovation of the Seas is leaving China too and heading over to Alaska. That's another prestige cruise ship, an absolute gem for the Royal Caribbean line, out of China. Out. There is movement afoot here, and it is serious business. Very interesting. Thank you for that, Seakeeper. There are no bribes in China. It's called fragrant grease, and the squeaky wheel gets the grease. Thank you, sir. You know what I learn on this show every day? It's incredible. I mean, my viewers, without them, I wouldn't know half of what's going on. Thank you, Seakeeper, for that one. I love it. D&G Explorers is saying hi to everybody. Peter Heckema, so many ships seem to be heading to Alaska. There might be some good deals ahead. All big ships do. Peter, you're right, but I got to tell you, I'm speculating, what if one ship too many are shifted to Alaska and cruise lines start losing money? The folks at Princess had deals. I've been telling everybody about deals since May. Out of Vancouver, British Columbia, take a 1-week cruise on an inside room on a Princess cruise ship. 1 week up to Anchorage, 1 week back to Vancouver. We're talking $350 for the week. Tell me, go ahead, tell me. How do you make money at $350 for a passenger when you got to feed them breakfast, lunch, and dinner? You got to maintain those swimming pools. You got to put gas in the tank of that cruise ship. You got to let these folks enjoy the entertainment. They're enjoying all the amenities of the ship. You're paying, you as a cruise line are running that ship. I mean, deck front to back, you're running that ship up and down. $350 a person. They're not making you any money. You're praying that these folks are losing money in the casino. You are praying that these people are spending money on specialty restaurants. You are praying that they're going on specialty or cruise onshore excursions and paying top dollar to take a train ride out of Skagway. Somehow you got to be getting money out of these people because you're not getting it from the base fare. Forget taxes and fees. The ship can't keep that. The tip money, that's debatable. Most of that, if not all of it, goes to the crew. What is the cruise line going to make money from a whole bunch of cruisers at $350 a week? And this was through May, June, July, August, all summer long. Next year, what's going to happen? Are there going to be 20 ships, 30 ships up there, and are half of them going to be on sale like this? When maybe balconies are going to be $475, $525. It's great for us as consumers. Oh, it's great. But I'll tell you right now, you're going to notice a difference in the buffet. You're going to notice a difference in the main dining room because of those cruise ships. These older cruise ships. I'm not talking about the Bliss. I'm not talking about the Joy. I'm talking about the ships that are 10, 15 years old that are up there too. You go on one of those ships, you might find that burgers and pork and beans are available on the main deck. There are no brats anymore. There are no nice European sausages up there anymore. We're going to talk about pizza. It's going to be cheese pizza and pepperoni pizza. And there's your selection of pizza. We may be talking about cutbacks all over the place to reflect the fact that you're getting a cruise in the low 300s. What do you expect for a $350 cruise? Filet mignon for lunch? You're not getting that. They can't afford that. This is what I wonder about. And then the next step will be ships will be pulled out of there. They'll be oversaturating that area, and they may oversaturate other areas. But then again, consumer will be the boss. We'll see what happens. I don't know how this is going to play out. This is an interesting shift in the cruising business. With China, there were growth plans, serious growth plans for the cruise lines in China. This is why some of these cruise ships are being built at the extravagance the way they were being built. A lot of cruise ships were supposed to be heading there in the next 3 years. It may be all bets are off, and that whole region might be shut right down. There may be no business whatsoever available for cruise lines in China in an affordable setting. And that means thousands of berths or thousands of cabins are looking for passengers somewhere else. Australia, New Zealand, Indonesia, Vietnam, the remainder of Asia, Dubai, they want the business. Dubai wants the business. How many ships can use Dubai as a home port? Europe, pretty heavy and hectic now. Africa, would you want to cruise near Somalia? Ethiopia, Sudan, you want to be anywhere in there? That's pirate territory in some of those regions. Not so friendly. South America and North America. How many ships can you put in Alaska? How many can you put in the Caribbean? There's a point. We'll see what happens. Okay, let's go further here. D&G Explorers can't wait for our Bliss cruise. Great to hear the positive comments. Tracy Dunlop, Robert Brandt, yes, we will definitely have to meet again. Meet when you come to Naples and are settled. People are getting ready to meet people. This is fantastic. Robert Brandt, aren't the Chinese having trouble moving money outside of China? Well, yes and no. Depends on who you ask. If it's government approved, it's easy to move. If you're trying to move money out of China and the government doesn't want you to, you might be having problems. That's a whole other issue. There's all kinds of people in prisons in China who were doing stuff the government didn't want them to do. They had their billions and they wanted to keep those billions and not share. Government kind of stepped in, and there's issues, but there are still many, many more. I don't know what's going to happen there. It's just not my turf. Let's go here. Bliss, Silo Steve, just don't stay on deck 5 of the Bliss. Noise, 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 he says. Seakeeper, the only obstacle to paying fragrant grease is how imaginative and creative your accounting team is. Creative accounting can move mountains. Yes, in Canada, if you get caught, if you're a corporation doing business in, say, China or any other country, and your corporation is paying bribes, and it is found out by forensic accountants back in Canada that you were doing that, especially the Government of Canada accountants, you're going to jail. There are jails waiting for executives here in Canada that aren't even over there. They're here. They're going to jail. It's rather difficult sometimes to do this kind of stuff. But in certain parts of the world, business is done in a certain way. And for them, it's normal. And it's just everyday stuff. Get with their program is what they tell you. If you want to be here, play here, learn to play here. I find it abhorrent, but it's an amazing game. I don't know what is going on in the cruise business. No one will know. Interesting stuff. Wes Morrison, Viking christened the Viking Orion in Shanghai. Do you know if Viking is leaving China market? Wes, I don't. I know you're a fan of Viking. I love Viking Cruise Lines. I'll be watching that story closely. I'll be watching Viking closely. Good news for Viking, I guess, Wes, is if they want it out, they only have a 930 passenger ship in this case, because all of their ships are 930 passengers, 465 staff, very high crew to passenger ratio. And for Viking to move the Orion somewhere else, piece of cake, piece of cake. But we'll see, sir. I'll see what's going on. Debbie Manuel saying, D&G, absolutely love the Bliss. She is beautiful and so many things to do. Can't see everything in a week. She had a great time. Silo, doing the Mexican Riviera during Halloween on the Bliss, the Haven was almost sold out for every cruise. So adding the Joy might be a money maker. Silo, you could be right. They're going to have to spend a lot of money in that Haven area to North Americanize it, to kind of, I don't even know if I've made that word up. I just caught that word this morning in my brain and I've been using it all day. North Americanizing this ship is a top priority for our friends at Carnival, or at Norwegian, excuse me. 50 million is being used to do this. So 50 million bucks. Will 10 million go into the Haven? Maybe. It'll be worth their while. I agree with you. I think they'll have a relatively easy time booking up the Haven to a pretty good extent. But the Bliss took bookings for what, 2 years prior to the first sailing? How long did you wait? Sorry, let me start this again. How long have you been reserving your room on the Bliss for your cruise? Was it almost 2 years? We're now talking about the Joy being booked up by next April to start. That's in like 9-10 months from now. That is short in the cruise business. That is not a long time in the cruise business. for a ship being deployed into a new area. Surprise, surprise, it's coming into Alaska. So the folks in the Norwegian booking department and the travel agents out there are going to be pushed to get this done. Now, obviously, they'll leave Alaska and then do Mexican Riviera cruises and Panama cruises. There'll be, there'll be cruises available every week, every 2 weeks for these locations. It should be interesting to see how this plays out. Cheers, one and all, from Traveling with Bruce, by the way. Diet caffeine-free cola, what I like to call brown fuzzy water, kind of keeps me hydrated and keeps me going. Okay, let's see if what we have here. Tracy's thinking it would be kind of neat if the Joy kept some of its China decor. Cool Jazz talking about his old camera. Should I donate my Polaroid camera to the Smithsonian? I think they got a bunch already, but some form of Polaroids are back in the world. They do re-exist again. It's kind of weird. Robert Brandt, the China Sovereign Fund owns and buys a ton, but the average person, I don't think gets to spend as freely. What percentage of China make over $100,000 a year? Robert, you make a good point there. I would say 10, 15 years ago, very, very small number of Chinese made that kind of money. Today, quite a number of Chinese people make that kind of money, and it's growing quickly. China is becoming rather westernized rather quickly. You've got the Hong Kong area, Shanghai, Beijing, and you take these populations and put them all together with the metropolitan areas. You're talking 200, 300, 400 million people. That's a country right there. There are enough people to satisfy the cruise business. The problem is, of course, if the cruise line has to cough up a large percentage of the fare in order to get the passenger on board, because only one entity can put the passengers on the ship, one government licensed entity can do it. The Royal Caribbean and Norwegian are making a statement saying, we're not doing that. We're not playing that game anymore. We're out of here. We're not going to, go away. So we can move the ship somewhere else. This is not a Chinese ship. It's our ship. We'll go elsewhere. Interesting stuff. Silo wondering if Norwegian is retiring a ship, sending that crew to the Joy. I haven't heard that, and I don't think they'd want to do that. I think that would be a really negative hit on their stock price. The analyst in Wall Street would go Batman shit crazy. They would go crazy on that one. So they wouldn't want to do that. That would be a last resort. Robert Brandt, did they use the number 4 on the Joy? It's a no-no in China. I do not know. Brittany Lockwood is here. Hi, Bruce. Hi, Brittany. Gayleen Davidson. Hi, Bruce. 33 in Summerlin. Group cruise on Joy. How about that? Brittany Lockwood, China might not be the right choice for Norwegian. Richard C., the Alaska cruises, you really need to be sure that they have Glacier Bay in the cruise. They are limiting how many go into that bay at one time. And this is what I'm wondering about. Is Alaska going to become like the Cayman Islands, where you have a beautiful place, safe, nice people, Cayman Islanders, love the island. Sometimes you have 6 or 7 ships parked off the shore, doing the tender game, coming on and getting off. It's a nightmare for the tourist. The Cayman Islanders love the business, but they're killing their own island with too much tourism. What's happening in Alaska? I wonder about that. Too many ships in there. There'll be restrictions. We'll have to see how this plays out. And Jordan, Silo, Steve, if NCL is starting in China, MSC is also in China as well. I don't know if MSC is actually in China. They aren't in a big way. I don't think so. Again, this will be an interesting few months going forward. Silo Steve, sounds fun. Call it a pirate hunt cruise, and you can bring your own weapons and ballistics vests. Let's go to Somalia and shoot it up. Oh my gosh. Oh, unbelievable. Gayleen is saying Joy has no studio cabins. That's not happy. She's not happy about that. Let's see. Brittany, you're too kind. My choice for cruise news is Traveling with Bruce, not Cruise Critic. Thank you so much. Silo, Steve, wonder if the refurb will include studios then. I don't think so, Silo. 50 million with what they have to do. I don't think there's enough in the budget for that. And I don't think they have enough time. They need another week or two. That is serious logistical redos, and I don't think they're going to take that kind of time. Just my guess. D&G, not sure if you shared this, but I read the Joy's home port will be Seattle. Will also undergo 50 million refurbishment to make it more like the Bliss. I have read that, and we know that to be a fact, certainly for the Alaskan season. But after that, I'm thinking it might be LA, but we'll find out shortly. Maurice, here's part of it from Cruise Critic website. Other newly revealed deployments include Norwegian Jewel and Norwegian Jade moving to Australia, New Zealand, and Asia for the winter of 1920. as well as Norwegian Spirit moving to China. Spirit has to be refurbished first. Spirit will not be moved to only China. Spirit will be in China seasonally. The other two ships will be in other areas seasonally as well. There is shifting going on. Silo, pictures of the current haven on the Joy looked slick. Maybe bigger beds. I don't know if they're bigger beds. Smaller people. They had smaller people on those beds. Now they're going to have bigger people on these beds. I don't know. I don't have the stats. Cool Jazz. Aiden Bika will be the new guy on the Joy. Yeah, the soup Nazi, the Haven Nazi, Aiden Bika, could be deployed to the Joy because that's the new cruise ship, the new Haven being offered. Wouldn't that be something? Oh, wait till Cruising with Wheels finds this out. Oh my goodness. I don't know. Cool Jazz, I love it. Maurice, I'm going on the Norwegian Escape next month. I will ask the cruise, the people on the Joy. I'll ask them. Cool Jazz says, well, since they sending a smaller ship to China, maybe that was the issue. Lots of empty cabins on too big a ship. Well, yeah, Cool Jazz. The problem is, though, you take $1 billion luxury liner that maybe is 3/4 full, half full. I don't know if that's what it was. And you replace it with a 20-year-old cruise ship that's just like a 20-year-old cruise ship. You're going to drop off the demand. It might only be half full at 1,000 passengers. It's a lose-lose situation. And you can't charge the kind of money you were charging on the Joy. The Joy, you could ask for top dollar. You had all the amenities, brand new everything. Not on the Spirit. We're talking 1999 construction here. Even with a refurb, there's only so much you're going to get. We'll have to see what works here. Gayleen, I cannot afford the Haven, so I would be safe on the Joy. Brittany Lockwood, my reason for it is so many opinions make it so much more interesting. Thank you. D&G Explorers, we are with you, Gayleen Davidson. Let's see here. Ann Jordan, lots. Laugh out loud at Cool Jazz. She loved it. Chevy in first. Hey, y'all, 91 and sunny here today in Atlanta, I believe. 66 days and counting till Carnival Conquest. I have officially started packing my bags right now. Get on it. 66 days. Your time's running out. That's it. Fantastic. Paul Wilgus, I hope Canada and Alaska worry about the environmental impact of too many cruise ships because we know that the U.S. federal government won't. Well, this is the thing, Paul. There are national parks up there that have the waterways under control, and I don't know. Robert, the ultra wealthy aren't cruising; they charter their own yachts. Correct, sir. Marisa is saying, do we know what they're going to put on the Norwegian Joy? What are they going to put on it? Maurice, no, we haven't got any info yet on real details. Just the shock announcement that came out today. Seakeeper, 39 days to the getaway, and I'm already counting already. You betcha, Seakeeper. Start packing tomorrow. Get ready and get going. This is fantastic stuff. Well, I got to tell you, folks, it's a shocking story to me. Cruise lines do not like building billion-dollar assets for a specific market, and then within a year and a half or so, having to take that asset out of this market. That you can imagine, they were thinking about putting that ship in there before it was even built. When it was just an image on the architectural drawing table, they already had it figured out that the Joy is headed for that market over there, that China market. We want in. We're going to show the Chinese we're for real. Here at Norwegian, we're going to bring in the jewel, the crown jewel cruise ship. Will be the largest cruise ship in Asia, the most luxurious. We're going to get that wow factor, and we're going to put $1 billion on the table and put that baby over there. And in 18 months, the decision is made. Get it out now. Get it over to Seattle by April next year, after it's been refurbished for almost a month, and cancel all bookings after February probably of next year. All bookings will be canceled. Get it out of there. Take it to Seattle and bring it up to Alaska. That is not what I build $1 billion cruise ship for, generally speaking, but that's what's happening here. And now Norwegian has two $1 billion cruise ships in the same market at the same time, the Bliss and the Joy. There are only one group of winners. That's you folks out there, probably going to find some pretty good deals. I'm assuming. Now, I could be wrong. I know that the folks who were booked on the Norwegian ship for next year that weren't on the Bliss, that are on the other one that's being pulled out, they're now going to be put on the Joy. They're going to be happy. They're being upgraded onto a brand new cruise ship. But the remainder of the rooms, 2,500 rooms a week, or 2,500 people, I guess, 2,500 people a week, have to now be found additionally to fill that Norwegian Joy cruise ship up to the brim. That is the effort. That's the issue. And we're talking 10 months from now for the first sailing. Will there be a media blitz for the week prior or two? Maybe. They might invite cruise writers and media to the Joy, be given the grand tour. Maybe they can get a 1 or a 2 day cruise to Victoria and back, get a little freebie cruise to be, shown all of its, all of its finery. And then they put the passengers on right after that. We're going to find all this out pretty shortly. The marketing department, they're up to here in work. The booking department, they're up to here in cancellations and rebookings and new berths to figure out. The blitz is on to travel agents. Every travel agent in the Norwegian family out there is being contacted immediately by Norwegian. Big news, big news, big news. And get on the blower, get on the phone, get on your computer, get on your texting, and get a hold of your favorite clients, because the Joy is going to be in Alaska, and then it's going to be in Mexico and through the Panama Canal starting next year. We've got deals, and we'll have to see how this all plays out. This is a major, major move. And right now, it's all just peaches and cream at Norwegian. If you look at the PR department release, oh, it's a wonderful news. It's wonderful. The Joy is coming home to North America. It's fantastic. It's going to be great. Okay. Let's see here. Seakeepers. Brittany, another reason for it is not all news stories make it to Cruise Critic, and I love all kinds of stories having to do with all kinds of things, cruise ships. Richard C., thanks for another great show. Bruce C. on Thursday. Thank you, Richard C. And Jordan, awesome Chevy. First, have a great time on the Conquest. Robert Brandt, if they paint everything gold, they can rename it the Trump Joy. And it would be a hugely, bigly, extraordinarily deal to be on. Oh, my goodness. Paul Wilgus, laugh my ass off, but it's true, Robert. Let's see. So Robert Brandt, sorry, I couldn't resist. He said, Silo Maurice, the NCL site shows the Joy may be shadowing the Bliss schedule. Everyone's liking that comment from Robert. Paul Wilgus, me too, most of the time, Robert. We'll see how that goes. The only other news I had to talk about today, just to change the subject ever so briefly, it was about the Celebrity Cruise Line. Celebrity made an announcement that they're basically building their own cruise terminal in Fort Lauderdale at Port Everglades. It is a dedicated terminal for Celebrity. It's actually a Celebrity dedicated terminal. It's replacing an old terminal that they've been using, and it will allow the Celebrity people to bring in the Edge, the Celebrity Infinity, the Reflection, and the Silhouette using the same terminal. So obviously 4 ships over a weekly schedule. Right now, the Port Everglades port, or Fort Lauderdale, handles 335,000 Celebrity passengers a year. That number is going to go up to 500,000 passengers a year, because the Edge, the Celebrity Edge, is coming out towards the end of this year. So Fort Lauderdale is all excited. The Port Everglades, they're pumped. They're just jazzed about what's happening there. That port is growing. Miami is growing. We already know that a new Norwegian terminal is being built. Royal Caribbean is building. It's all just happening unbelievably. So Miami is growing. Port Canaveral, we know that port is being expanded. New terminals are being built. Old terminals being torn out. Disney is getting 3 new ships in the next 3-4 years. I'm sure 1 or 2 of them will use Port Canaveral as their home port. So that's going to be big for business there. Florida, the state of, I'm not sure about Tampa's numbers, but the rest of the ports are growing significantly, and that's a reflection of the business. But there are times where there are hiccups in the cruising business, and today this was a big indicator. This little announcement from Norwegian is a huge indicator that something is going on, and it's not good right now out of the Chinese cruise market. Okay, Maurice, I'm going on the Celebrity Edge in January. Looking forward to a report from you, sir. And Jordan, lucky you, Maurice. D&G Explorers, a lot of exciting news in the cruise world. Can't wait to hear further details about the Joy changes. Maurice, but I heard the Celebrity Edge is going to Florida. Then I think in April she's going to Europe. I wonder why she's moving to Europe. They'll reposition her which is not uncommon. They'll have her in the Caribbean for the winter, and they'll take her to Europe for the summer. That will be typical. They'll get top dollar in the Mediterranean for that brand new cruise ship, rather than keep her in the Caribbean against all the other competition. Look at MSC Seaside. The folks at MSC thought, well, we'll build a brand new ship perfectly built for the North American market. Does this sound familiar at all? We'll build a ship just for the North American market, for the North American cruiser, just like Norwegian did for China. And we'll bring it in and out of Miami once a week. And the Americans will just come flocking to this brand new billion-dollar cruise ship that we made here called Seaside. And it's going to be wonderful, peaches and cream. And they forgot a couple of things. They forgot that the cruise director, you should have got a North American kind of cruise director. 2, the entertainment, opera 7 nights a week or 5 nights a week or twice a week, maybe too much. Opera, that might not go over with the American crowd. The food, gotta spice it up a little bit. You gotta kind of make it North American like. Where's some Mexican food? That'd be a good idea. Barbecue is a darn good idea if you're going to cater to the North American market out of Miami. Not so bland. Spice it up, and variety. What about the other issues on the Seaside? Here's a cruise line right now. They kept that ship there year round. You can get right now a balcony cruise on the MSC Seaside for August, September, October, November. You tell me the month you want. What month would you like? How about a balcony for $600 a person? And if that ain't good enough, you want better than that? I'll tell you. I'll do you one better. I'll give you a $75 credit for 2 people, each of you. I'll give you each a $75 credit. It's a $150 cabin credit. I'll give you free Wi-Fi. How about that? I'll give you free Wi-Fi. That's not good enough? I'll throw in a drink package, which includes the coffee and the soda and unlimited drinks. How about that deal? That brings that balcony cabin to $325 for a week in the Caribbean. You want to go in October, November, December? You just tell me the month. That's the deal. That's the problem that Celebrity, with the Celebrity Edge, does not want to enter. They don't want to get into that game. They're going to deliver the Edge in November, December to Fort Lauderdale. They're going to cruise the Caribbean until next April. They'll do a repositioning cruise to Europe, and they'll get top dollar in the Mediterranean. They're going to get top dollar in Caribbean. They're going to get top dollar in the Mediterranean. The first year that ship is sailing, it's going to get top dollar. They're not playing the MSC Seaside game. They're not getting into that. The only glitch that could screw it up for Celebrity is if there are mechanical problems on the ship, like Celebrity had experienced for a while. If that is happening with the Edge, then people are going to be upset, and we'll hear about it. But if the Edge comes off with a nice launch and relatively smooth sailing, no issues there, they know how to cater to the North American cruiser. They know that market. They should be okay. And we will not get a deal on the Edge for the first year that ship is at the sea. We won't find a deal. You can't get a deal right now on a Symphony of the Seas. You can't get a deal on that ship right now. Royal Caribbean knows what they're doing when they launch a brand new cruise ship, and in the Oasis class, like the Symphony, it's the 4th or 5th one. They know what they're doing. That ship will not be cheap this spring in the Caribbean. It'll be top dollar. But the MSC Seaside is up against these guys, and they're getting their butts handed to them right now, and it's costing them. So there you go. Anyway, a couple of thoughts there. Maurice is talking about that. Maurice also saying, speaking of Celebrity Cruises, they want all their ships to be like the Edge. All of their ships are going to be into dry dock in 2 to 3 years. Maurice, this is not a shock. We talked about this a little yesterday. Celebrity and all cruise lines, every cruise line takes their ships into dry dock every 3 to 5 years anyway. This is nothing new. What's new is that Celebrity is going to upgrade their ships to kind of a newer standard. They're going to go right down in some of the cabins, in almost every cabin on board. They're going to strip the cabins down to the steel structure. They're going to rip the floors out. They're going to rip the walls out. They can now put in brand new wiring, brand new lighting, and in the bathrooms, they'll strip them out too, right down to the pipes, brand new fixtures, everything in the cabins on these ships. So it's a big budget. It's 50 plus million per ship for ships that are 2,000, 2,400, 2,600 passengers, 2,800 passengers in size. It's a big budget for that kind of a ship size. They're spending that kind of money because the folks at Celebrity haven't brought a new ship on board in 6 years. The Edge is the first one in 6 years. They're behind the curve here with regards to their competitors, and they have to catch up. So they're refurbishing first and ordering new ships behind the Edge behind that. That's what's going on there. We'll see what's going on. The MSC Seaside Cruise Director is from North America. I think is a new one. I think that's a new cruise director that replaced the original cruise director from what I was told a few months ago. And he or she's from North America. Yeah, they should have done that in the first place. Anyway, what are you going to do? There you go. There's the show. I hope I haven't bored you folks. I think it was okay. I think you folks had a lot of comments today. I appreciate all of your input into this topic. We'll keep a close eye on this Norwegian story with regard to the Norwegian Joy. We'll see what happens. I did a video earlier today on the Joy. Check it out if you like. It's been posted. I hope you enjoy it. And I did post a video yesterday as well that had a little story to do with something else. You know, I can't even remember what that video was. When you get as old as I am and you start cranking out all this work I'm cranking out, you start going, what did I talk about yesterday? Anyway, check it out if you get a chance and enjoy my channel. Thank you for watching me today. I hope you like what you see. Give me thumbs ups if you're happy with the show. I got 18 today so far. Looking for as many thumbs ups as we can get. If you like what I'm doing, please subscribe. There's a button here. There's a button there. And there's a bell icon over here. If you hit that, you'll get notifications every time I do a new video, like this morning. Stay on top of things and subscribe to the channel. I'll be on tomorrow, Thursday night, twice. Tomorrow at 5 o'clock Eastern time for my regular cruise ship live stream show. Tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, trivia. We're playing Thursday night, prime time trivia tomorrow night. Hope to see you with that. Friday, I'm on at 5 o'clock again, and Saturday at 2 in the afternoon Eastern time. As always, thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the show. Looks like folks are saying my goodbyes and happy with what they saw. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Thanks for all your support for my channel. Already 21 thumbs ups. They're coming in here at the end. Thank you so much. Throw me a thumbs up as you're heading out the door if you want. I appreciate it very much. I'll see you tomorrow at 5. This is Bruce saying thank you for joining me today. July the 18th, 2018. It says right here. And I really appreciate you having me today. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Have a good one, everybody. Goodbye for now.